Hello everyone and welcome to Expo Dubai, where we're getting set to start the FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021, where Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi are locked in battle. I'm Maurice Ashley, and so far we've seen 3 intense draws. Game 3 was an absolutely precise game. Some say the most precise game in World Chess Championship history. The players are finding it extremely difficult to land a punch no matter what their preparations beforehand. It seems as though it's all leading to the same place, a draw. In fact, we have not seen a win in the classical portion of the World Chess Championship in 5 years, since 2016, and this will have to change if either player is going to take a lead. In today's round, Magnus will have the white pieces for the second time. The last time he had white, he got into some trouble, but managed to maneuver his way out of it. He tried to play enterprising chess. Will he follow that same strategy today, which caused some risk and may have lost him the game? Of course, if he is to win, he has to take chances, but Nepo is proving to be a much more difficult opponent than many had believed before the competition started. Later in the broadcast, we'll see how chess is being used effectively in many countries as an educational tool for children all around the world. Well, let's get Game 4 started.
Today, more than ever, when the world comes together to create a better tomorrow.
It's going to be
magic.
Oh,
La magie. Magic.
Magic with music.
With architecture.
With colors.
Magic with celebration.
with your safety.
From here.
There.
And everywhere.
For 6 whole months, day and night.
Join the making of a new world, starting October 1st.
Want to play chess but don't know how to get started? Try chess.com. Play for free against someone at your level or challenge one of our friendly computer bots. Trying to improve your chess? Learn the Queen's Gambit and other openings with guided interactive lessons. Like chess but don't want the pressure of playing games? Chess.com has hundreds of thousands of fun puzzles to help you relax and sharpen your mind. Play your friends, make new ones around the world, follow the latest games and more. Sign up and play for free at chess.com today.
The fight is going on not only on the 64 squares. I've been observing the players before the game, during their first moves. I think they try to demonstrate that they feel comfortable themselves.
Look, I was excited after the first 2 games, and especially game 2. Third game, a little bit of drop in energy, but you would expect it with the kind of preparation they have. However, they had a rest day to recover, and this is Magnus with the white pieces. So I'm kind of hopeful that there'll be a big battle again, because Magnus really has to try and press with the white pieces. I think with black, you may hit in the counterattack, but white is when you can even choose the battle. So I'm hopeful that Magnus will make a big push today.
Coming into this game, I think that it's going to be quite a fight. You know, Magnus, it's his birthday. I think that he's looking for a big win. He's got the white pieces after a rest day. It's going to be an optimistic fight. I think that he will uncork some preparation, but as we've seen in the past 3 games, Nepo's been extremely well prepared. He's been able to traverse really dangerous positions, and that means that it's going to be really difficult for Magnus to make any new surprises, especially compared to the first 3 games.
Three draws, the match now tied at 1.5 points each. We expect fighting chess today with the white pieces today. First up, from Norway, the world champion, Magnus Carlsen. And playing with the black pieces, from Russia, the challenger, Jan Nepomniachtchi. Overseeing the first move of the event, the president of FIDE, Arkady Dvorkovich, and a special guest making the first move, His Excellency, the General Secretary of the Dubai Sports Council, once again, His Excellency Saeed Hareb. that, let the game begin. It's time to begin game 4 of this heavyweight matchup. Neither side able to land a blow so far, and Magnus must be frustrated that he's not been able to defeat this tough opponent, and they have both started by pushing their e-pawns 2 squares. Very traditional. We've seen this opening before so far. What is Magnus going to do different in order to possibly win this game? He's played his knight to f3, another very standard move, and now Jan is playing knight to f6. This is known as the Russian defense. As we see Magnus adjust the clock there, this opening is known to give black very solid chances of making a draw. Magnus must not be too thrilled to see this position. No doubt he was prepared for it, as he has taken the pawn on e5 very, very quickly. But Jan, extremely well prepared. He will continue this very solid opening to see if he can stop Magnus in his tracks. We see the knight dropping back there, and the classical move is to take the pawn, and Jan just blitzing out the move, showing that he is very well prepared against Magnus. And now we're on move 10 of the game. The jackets are off for both players, and Magnus knows that his opponent has played incredibly solidly, and he's played an aggressive move. Queen to b3, attacking the pawn on b7, adding pressure to black's position. Nepo no doubt knows this move and is very well prepared against it. And he has played the move queen to d7, protecting the pawn. But that doesn't faze Magnus, as he's brought his knight out onto the c3 square. But that's going to initiate a number of exchanges right now in the game, as we see the knights come off, bishops are coming off the board as well. This position is not to Magnus's liking, having to trade off so many pieces. Is he going to have enough to go for the win? All these trades have been happening in this game, and it just doesn't seem as though the position has a lot of life in it, as Nepo has played a very defensive kind of position. Now he's retreating his queen and offering a queen trade to Magnus, saying, if I can get your aggressive queen off the board, this might simplify my task. Now Magnus is a great endgame player. He doesn't mind trading queens necessarily, but will he have enough? Jan Nepomniachtchi studying the situation, whether or not he should trade queens, and he has done so, showing no fear of the famous endgame prowess of Magnus Carlsen, taking him straight into that endgame. Nepo knowing that he is closer and closer to that precious draw. And now he has played the move a5, pushing that pawn up the board. That pawn could provide some opportunities, and Magnus had played the move knight h4 instantly in reply. This looks like a new move, and Nepo is sitting up in his chair as he sees that Magnus has an idea and is now coming for him with this last move.
It's Expo 2020.
Love everybody in the world. What a glorious world this could be.
It's the culture, the music, the artwork. It's the people.
Come on and join us. A new world is just beginning.
Chess and education, I believe this is very important because you know that there are so many research and predictions that quite a big share of those professions that we do know today will be extinct in a decade or two. And then it's a great challenge for the educational systems to understand what are those professions that we should give to the kids.
Yeah, when I grow up, I think I'll just concentrate fully on chess and just continue playing professionally.
Me parece que me queda mucho todavía, pero si tuviera que elegir ahora, pues sería o físico o ingeniero, por ejemplo.
I'm kind of interested in medicine or something related like that, with that, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I would like to play professional chess, yeah.
A mí me gustaría dedicarme a cirujano para salvar vidas y porque es un trabajo muy bueno.
We truly believe that chess can serve as one of the best tools to improve all kinds of abilities and capabilities of young people, especially at the primary school level, elementary school.
It would be a great idea to make chess in schools.
Pues con 6 años en primaria una profesora me enseñó a jugar y entonces me apunté a clases.
When I was 3, I started play with the pieces and with the board because my sister was a chess player already and she was going to some competition already. And then I started to play my tournaments at the age of 5.
Empecé a jugar ajedrez sobre los 5 años con mi padre y mi hermano.
I started when I was 7 or 8 years old. My father played chess and he joined me to a chess club. And I enjoyed it, so I continued.
Creo que empecé con los 6 años porque mi padre me dijo de probar porque él ya jugaba de antes.
Every child could play chess because, I mean, even if you're not playing chess professional, it's very good. I mean, like, in general, it's very important, I think, to play chess.
So even for students, for adults, this is important to educate them through chess, to educate their critical thinking, their strategic thinking.
Jan Nepomniachtchi has been deep in thought since this last move by Magnus Carlsen. He's been thinking for over 5 minutes about what to do about this move. This is a new idea. Magnus creating this new wrinkle in the position. And now the move G6 on the board, stopping the knight from being able to get into Black's camp. Definitely creating some sort of weaknesses, though, in his position. He knows that. He's going to have to judge it quite finely. And thinking about Magnus's preparation, is this something that Magnus has prepared very, very deeply? Or is it just a bluff? Well, Magnus Carlsen normally doesn't bluff at all. And we see there that he's coming now back to the board, sitting down, seeing Jan's move, writing it down, of course. Always needs to keep a record of the game. And seeing this move, we'll see just how long it takes after he finishes recording the move. When will he play? And we see he's taking no time at all. Bam, G4, big time move instantly. This is clearly in his preparation, and he's gotten up from the board, saying to Jan, you better get back in this chair because I'm coming for you. Nepo has been considering this last move by Magnus for about 3 minutes now. He's got to be careful, and he's played the move knight to d7. That one was expected, bringing the knight off of the back row. You've got to get all your pieces into the game, and this knight finally happy to be in the position, creating some kind of influence anyway. And Magnus once again coming to the board. He hasn't been sitting much in this game at all, and now what is he going to do about this next move? Does he have this move prepared as well? He's looking away very confidently and just dropping his knight back. That knight certainly has been moving quite a bit, last couple of moves at least, and it looks like it's going places. Magnus seems very confident about the situation on the board at the moment. Trying to be extremely accurate is Jan Nepomniachtchi. Magnus has been banging down moves, and there he goes. He's played his rook, slid his rook over to the c8 square, attacking a pawn in the position. This one looks really interesting. Attack for Nepo. That seems like an interesting concept at the moment, given that it is Magnus who has been banging down moves, but he's put the pressure on this pawn. What will Magnus do about it? He could play defensively with a bishop move, but instead he's played his bishop to f4, attacking Black's bishop, ignoring the attack on his pawn, he has decided to attack Black's bishop. And now we see a trade of bishops happening on the f4 square. An interesting set of trades there. And now we see continued trades. The rook taking the pawn and Magnus taking the pawn on d5, attacking the rook. Lots of trades happening in this position, but it seems like it's still Magnus Carlsen on the attack right now.
Today, more than ever, when the world comes together to create a better tomorrow.
It's going to be
Magic.
Oh,
La magie. Magic. Magic with music.
With architecture.
With colors.
Magic with celebration.
with your safety.
From here.
There.
And everywhere.
For 6 whole months, day and night.
Join the making of a new world, starting October 1st.
If everybody in the
It's Expo 2020.
loved everybody in the world, what a glorious world this could be.
It's the culture, the music, the artwork. It's the people.
Come on and join us. A new world is just beginning.
Chess suits very well with the 21st century because in the last 25 years, the world has changed as much or even more than in any other 25 years period in the history of humankind. And according to the experts, in the next 25 years, the world is going to change even more. Therefore, the capacity to adapt yourself to a new changing situation is one of the most important strong points for any human being today already. And chess develops a lot this flexible thinking because during a game, the evaluation of the position can dramatically change several times. Therefore, if your brain is used to that process because you play chess frequently, then that will be very useful as well in your normal life.
So our task now is to share those best practices, to endorse the best programs, to educate teachers, educate new instructors who will then in turn teach kids.
I think chess teaches discipline, and I think it's just it also makes you feel concentrated always in other things. I think it really helps in other things as well.
Chess helps me a lot in concentration, for example in exams or things like that, and also socializing with people because you get to know people from all around the world.
Pues el ajedrez me ha ayudado mucho así a desarrollar mi cabeza y pues por ejemplo se nota mucho en las matemáticas o a nivel de memoria en el colegio.
Pues gracias al ajedrez probablemente he aprendido que todo se puede mejorar y hacer mejor aunque no lo creas.
Que te puede servir de gran ayuda para algunas asignaturas como matemáticas.
With chess, it actually helps me to calculate many things, even it helps me in many other things where I could calculate stuff very easily and like that, yeah.
Lo que el ajedrez me ha enseñado que puedo aplicar a mi día a día es el tema de la memoria, la parte analítica y sobre todo el tomar decisiones rápidas, que creo que es algo que mucha gente no lo puede hacer tan natural y creo que me ha ayudado bastante en esa parte.
Sirve mucho para concentrarte y es un deporte muy sano.
And FIDE's role is actually to tell the world what the opportunities are, to convince the politicians that it is worth to find a way how to bring chess to the schools so that we get a better society, so that we give the kids the skills that they would be more competitive with.
So many benefits chess gives to the kid, even though you don't become a world champion, you don't become a grandmaster, that will be useful for you for the rest of your life.
It's a simple enough game if you look at the chessboard and the pieces, but within that, anything is possible, anything.
I would like that through chess, people become more tolerant with other religions and cultures.
Cuando juego al ajedrez, siento que estoy en mi mundo, como que estoy en casa, por así decirlo.
Jan Nepomniachtchi's rook under attack. He's going to have to move it, but to what square? That's the critical question. And he's played rook to d3, attacking the pawn on d4, getting behind that pawn and attacking it. Magnus certainly doesn't want to give that pawn away, but Magnus there just adjusting the rook before banging down rook to e7, ignoring the attack and going on the attack himself, attacking Black's knight, putting pressure on that knight. That knight will have to move, no question about it, as it is in real danger at the moment. Does Jan have a move against this attack? It seems as though he does have a safe square, and he has played his knight back to f8, putting it next to his king. A defensive move to be sure, but it looks very solid, and Magnus will have to try to figure out how to break down this Black defensive setup. Not looking easy, as his own pawn is under siege at the moment. Magnus has been studying this new situation for some time, and not easy to crack this nut. And he has played his knight to f6 with check to the Black king. There seems to be a very natural response here, and Nepo has played it king to g7. And Magnus has decided to attack the king yet again. Another check. Are we going to see a repetition as we've seen in the previous games? This is not the way the fans want to see this game go, and I'm sure it's not what Magnus wants to see. They've been playing for some time, and Magnus is simply frustrated. He does not have a solution for his opponent's amazing defense. And now knight to e8 check. This we've seen in an earlier position. Now we see it again. This is not going to change anything. Magnus seems as if he's just simply decided, this is it. What can I do? I've got to give up now, because the Russian has played the Russian defense to perfection, has stopped every single try of his. That pass pawn for Black all the way down the board, on the side of the board. That's just too much of a threat. And Nepo never sitting at the table. That's just showing so much confidence, maybe arrogance even, telling Magnus Carlsen, I'm not afraid of you. What do you have? Nothing. Nothing for me. What are you going to do about it? And Nepo comes back to the board, writes down the move. I haven't seen a guy look this casual without being at home sleeping. And he's played his king back to g8, just relaxed. And Magnus, with nothing else to try, has played knight back to f6 with check. Nepo stopping the clock, calling the arbiter over, saying he's just repeating moves. This is a draw. I'm claiming the draw. And once again, Magnus is not able to defeat his Russian challenger. We've had 4 draws in 4 games. The score is tied at 2 points apiece.
It sometimes happens at World Championships that you work a lot before the match, and you work a lot during the match and openings and such, and somehow this makes you work less over the board. My approach was very clear there, that I didn't think particularly that I had anything, but I have 2 hours for the game, so I should spend them all looking for whatever chances can be found.
Actually, the line which happened is, I guess, should be known by many who play Petrov. Yeah, so it's one of the lines which are quite principled. Despite this, I believe knight h4 is a very interesting try, but perhaps I even wanted to play this as white one day. Yeah? But in general, yeah, the task was more or less about not to mix up things here and not to, I don't know, not to do something stupid, because as far as I know, this line is more or less, to say so, safe for black. So of course I was checking twice everything and also calculating a lot, but in general, yeah, I think this is quite safe.
I've started with a lot more draws than this earlier, and when you play a forest line as today, you don't expect to hit very often, but the idea is to hit once in a while, take your opponent by surprise, and the other times you're usually going to be very safe. I obviously I would have loved to win. Would have loved to find more chances than I did, but I think overall, yeah, it's a normal result against a well-prepared opponent.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow's game will be at 16:30. It will be Game 5. Thank you and have a good night.